Hey there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's today, tonight, whatever, with adrear versus Fanatical Lime. The latter, even with a 2-0 win, could leapfrog over here, but this wouldn't guarantee him a playoff ticket. And even if Texel were to lose, either with or phosphate, would surge ahead and oust Fanatical Lime. So he, at least according to my calculations, is definitely out of contention here, whereas adrear is of course still in the hunt for a playoff ticket, a win today, and he would secure one. Might even be able to catch King Didi, currently residing in 4th place. On the other hand, with a 2-0 loss, he would drop down into Krishna's region here and might still lose the playoff ticket. Let's check later, actually. For now, well, let's check now. So it all depends on the opponent match wins tiebreakers then, and adrear's look quite good, definitely better as Krishna's. So he should be rather safe. In detail, I might drill down if he indeed loses. So Fanatical Lime, not a master, but just shy of a 700 with his top rating, currently residing on a rather low score here of 545. Definitely not my favorite to win this match today. That honor goes to adrear with a top rating of over 800. Master since I don't know when, 2021 looks like. Yeah, I wish this scale here would be way better, actually. A tad better doesn't really work for me. This is just nonsense, but it is what it is. And there's a bit of history between these two. They met in 2023 for a best of 3 match. And this was not a friendly one. This was the MSO Grand Prix 2023 playoffs. From what I could gather quickly, it was the first round of the playoffs. And there, Fanatical Lime was able to oust adrear. So it's 3 years ago. Actually, let's check. When was this? Must have been around here. So still in a time when adrear wasn't able to get to an 800 plus rating. So I think he might have improved his game since then. And that's one reason why I would favor the Ukrainian to win this one today. By the way, there is another match happening. It should start in around 90 minutes. I am not sure whether I'll cover that one or not. This might depend on these two here. If they take their time and need a decider, and there would only be a few minutes until the start of Asx3t0s Borberichi, I might cover this. If this year would rather end in quick fashion in, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes, I might skip the later match. So I will decide, and then we'll see. So natural opening moves by these two here. And it looks like they will take their time. Went with the tournament format, so 15 minutes per player per game on the clock. Wasting precious time in the early going definitely isn't a good idea. But yeah, rather think about a move like that before you, I don't know why, drop it on your city cap. This here is totally fine, restricts the damn it, the expansion potential of yellow's road here. And now with this attack, there is the clear path for blue here. Restrict, later kill the square, force 3 dead meeples, and gain the advantage of a yellow dead meeple for 3 points. Hey, Sergey. Chris plays yellow and adrear blue normally. Okay, folks. I knew that someone would complain about adrear not being blue. So here we go. Chris is yellow and now the home player, and adrear plays blue henceforth. In the end, it doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters that I have yellow and blue, because my alternative colors are set to yellow and blue, and the contrast just is great. I mean, I could switch from blue to red, but actually red might be a tad too close to my usual magenta. That's why it's yellow and blue. Also, I like the color combination, and it might have some reasons outside of Carcassonne why I actually like it. Yeah, nice one from yellow. So from Chris, aka Fanatical Lime, taking away splitters over here. And also he might rope this cap into, well, the likely ruin. I mean, the square here isn't dead. There are still 2 starting tiles out there, which actually reminds me. So now Chris pressures this one. The problem for adrear is he can't really defend indirectly because the quad city is already gone. So then stuff like that would happen, or could happen rather. Yeah, nicely set up restriction by blue here. Payback from yellow comes immediately in the form of this killed meeple, and well, this road meeple here might suffer the same way as blues up top. So we'll see. Blue goes for this one, doesn't want to expand this Dorito here, just to rope in the blue city meeple there into the shared ruin. Now it is a ruin, and okay, it's not yet shared, but it might get shared. And then blue didn't protect this meeple. So will yellow go for this? I think not. Considering they started over here, they might just try this attack. On the other hand, I actually would like this one a tad more. Okay, he goes for a diamond, which seems fine. It's not as strong as usually because a 6, now a 7 Doritos are already gone. Yeah, and with all these Doritos gone, yellow could even try this one. The usual threat of double Dorito completion there doesn't apply. The threat that does apply, though, is this one here, any curve and the restriction to the last remaining right-handed dagger. And here we go, there it is. So the dead meeple count now is 3 yellow, 2 blue. Definitely not great for the Englishman. Adrear wasn't able to score quick points, just dumped the quad crossroads there. Now didn't want to create any other options. So seems like he's the only one to dump this rather in a safe manner. Although in the end, it's even to his advantage, because if this meeple here survives, then Adrear might have the meeple majority in the long run and might be able to invest one meeple on a curve here for 8 points down the road. Yeah, so still 3 vanillas and 2 splitters left for this square. Adrear could save it, or at least prevent many easy restrictions from the top to a 50-50, and he even meepled the monastery. If this works, it's great. If not, this gives quite a strong chance back to yellow. But yellow prefers to go for their city, which is totally understandable. The same that applies to this meeple applies to this one as well. There are still loads of caps left to close that city. Also, you'd rather not wanted to see stuff like this here happening with only one horse left in the deck, and then basically, even if that's would hit later on, quite likely the city would become a ruin, which this move here tries to accomplish as well. So we might yellow defending here, else the restriction to the one and only remaining dagger could become reality. Yellow opts for a different approach. So if you don't want to defend, then try to attack. In this case, that seemed fine, because at least you reduced blue's chances to exactly a 3 from 4 before this move. One splitter as well as the 3 vanillas up top. And a completion over here needs, with the lack of Doritos, quite likely 2 caps anyway. So why invest the Dorito there when you need two caps afterwards anyway, and therefore this seems fine. The problem for yellow though is one of the vanillas hits, blue claims the 9-point field, which still has potential to grow with a curve over here. And if this city closes, would be on blue's field as well, and the same goes for yellow city at the bottom. So definitely not ideal. The good news though is at least there is a chance to attack a sad field by getting a curve here. The thing though is yellow only has the one meeple in hand, so they definitely don't have the luxury, at least now, to fight for any fields here. Yeah, and this is a lovely, lovely decision for blue here. Of course, we'd really love to equalize this one, but just so few tiles out there to connect and close the city immediately that just an obstruction has to be enough. And yellow, of course, has to defend here, else this will be dead with the next curve or crossroad by blue. Blue protects their chance over here to connect. And yellow then closes their city. Should not do anything else, so I definitely wouldn't drop the farmer. I'm not sure why Chris took a few seconds there to think about it, but I mean, rather think about it than do some weird stuff. Yeah, sounds like a nice option. Just kill this one. If there's nothing better, why not? Quick points for blue. If they manage to get this monk back, well, adrear should have a good chance here. If he doesn't, though, then yellow's meeple majority should take care of this game. This connection here, as of now, is only worth 2 points. Same goes for the horse here, although the horse for either party could come with a field, a 6-point field on either side of the road. Okay. Yellow opts for a field of their own, which is worth 9 points, so it's the inferior one compared to blues if a curve gets there. If not, then both fields, at least currently, are the same points-wise. But blue here has definitely more potential. They have this option there to drop the twin caps and add more caps and therefore maybe cities to their field. Nonetheless, this here makes sense. There are two options to attack the field for yellow. Okay, and it's yellow's move, so they definitely won't drop the twin caps there. And I hope they don't try to attack the field now over here. That would be a tragic mistake. They have to keep the meeple in hand, and quite likely they just have to find a safe spot to dump the twin caps. Given that there are still yeah, this sounds fine. Although, is it? There are only 3 caps left. And then there's the remaining horse. So 4 out of 15 pieces to get a meeple back. That's a tad slim. On the other hand, blue has a feature they can pair it with loads of tiles. Blue still has this connection here. So might be worth it, considering blue is slightly ahead. One cap drops in blue's lap, and they immediately add it to their field, while also pressuring yellow's city there, or trying to pressure. Monastery does not really work, doesn't take away anything here, and sure, if you drop the monastery here, a closed city by yellow would at least add 3 points to your field. On the other hand, road here might be more to blue's tastes. Or for that matter, a road Dorito or horse like this. And here we go, road Dorito hits. So completion options for yellow would be either this and a city cap to the left, or turning it to the right side and then drawing the twin caps. Either way, this takes time. Time they don't really have. There's this cap on blue's field, and if blue gets one of these caps, it will be very unlikely for yellow to come back. Nope. I think this is a mistake, because if yellow now gets the twin caps, they can't use them here. Et voila, there are the twin caps. Yeah, and with this close of a score here, mistakes like this one, they hurt. And they hurt really, really terribly. In the end, with this permutation, there was no chance for yellow to win the game, but at least they would have closed the city. Yeah, so pretty equalish. Quite likely no one should complain, even though more crossroads to adrear, that's always nice. And both road monasteries. So, yeah. So basically, Fanatical Lime only got 2 road ends, which isn't great, especially not if you have 2 early roads. So when did he get the twin caps? Over here. Yeah, didn't lose a lot of points. Basically, the city would have been completed for 10 instead of 4, but 3 points to blue. So not much, but it's actually not about this permutation, but about the general options, and in general, not going here would have been the better move. So then, will he be able to force a tie breaker, a decider, or not? This time, at least, it's Chris' turn to start the game. Had an okay tile to do so, but the great counter by blue was in the deck as well. And blue even threatens the takeover here, so there might be a me-god moment. That's the wrong party drawing the Dorito. But of course, a huge threat, and this ain't the way to address it. And this here would have been the way to go for it. Wait for a city tile, especially when it's still early. If you don't, chances are blue will have something over here to defend. Actually, there are just 2 tiles. No, I'm wrong. Doritos, roses, quad crossroads, and whether you want to count a quad city or not, it's up to your choice. But everything else, blue could either close the city immediately or restrict it to either the cows or horses. Talking about cows, 2 were drawn by yellow in rather quick succession. So there are only 2 left for blue. And even if one of them might hit later, this standstill for now will definitely be to yellow's advantage. Also, they can pressure blue here. And here we go. Pressure on blue's monastery. They can spend a farmer. Actually, they should. Blue still has 3 meeples in hand. They will protect. The only thing they deliberated about was whether to drop the farmer now or not. And yep, they did. Even if it's only a 6-point field for now, this here is likely 75% chance for blue. And at least this blue farmer here forces yellow to play catch up. With all roses already gone, there is even an option to attack. No, there isn't. There's a road end here. Maybe it's just too late for me. Yeah, but with the roses gone, why don't we try to kill this one here? Winning this mini battle with a ruin versus a dilapidated road. That should be totally fine for yellow. They definitely don't need to go for completion here. Killing blue's meeple should be enough. Talking about killing meeples here. Very aggressive monastery by blue. With their meeple situation, it's really gutsy. But blue gets this road meeple out of this rather worrisome situation with a perfect tile even. The Borberichi would have worked, of course, as well, but would have been better for yellow, because now there's the threat of killing this with rather simple road tiles. Even though it's quite unlikely that yellow would complete this one. At least 5 tiles they need to expand there, and among them city caps galore. So this quite likely will be a big ruin. And it's just a matter whether blue will get the cow early enough or not. If it hits, at least this ruin here would be more or less equalized by blue's monastery, with the upside going, well, for now to blue, because I think it's easier to complete the monastery than the ruin or city. In the long run, this might get killed and the city/ruin might outscore the monastery. A separate field over here, possibly worth 9 points if this connection here manifests. The one thing I don't like about this is it protects blue square next to the monastery. Yeah, yellow with 2 meeples in hand and curves to get one back, then 2 more to liberate the monastery there. So I don't think it's a bad idea to just drop the monastery here. They go for 3 immediate points, which seems fine as well. Might now just expand their fields, create some problems for blue here. There's only one right-handed dagger left, so Borberichi over here would restrict the monastery to the dagger. And even if blue were to immediately defend, then there'd be 3 curves left. Or in this case, you could restrict the remaining square to the crossroad. Yeah, so it seems totally fine. Yellow. Yeah, again, they still have this monastery square. They don't opt for it. Yeah. Okay, we'll see how this will work out. Blue with the perfect draw, closing the 3-point road here, giving themselves 3 curves to close the monastery. With tempo even, could drop a meeple on this road, which could complete by extension over here, or with one of the 2 remaining road ends. There's still a crossroad and 1 horse out there. Yeah, and looks like yellow just can't draw stuff to go there. Of course, they used these daggers for other options. But a curve here would do wonders for them now. It would allow them to claim this field, for example. With only one meeple in hand and a cap on your field. That's not in the cards, or at least it shouldn't be. Oh. So yellow takes the road. Okay. Well, considering blue got to snatch this one, as of now, they haven't lost any points. The problem with this road, though, is it might get, in some cases, directed into this city. So yellow still hasn't lost any value after this move. Dropped to here. Yeah, and it's actually this is fine. Sure, blue could attack there, but there are so many Doritos out there, and the two cows, of course, and restricting this square to a cow, as it's the only triple city tile still out there after the last horse was drawn by blue, would be a huge problem for a possible blue attack, as blue still needs the cows somewhere else. And this is the third cow in yellow's hands. They go for an obstruction, but with this specific makeup of remaining tiles, there are still 4 vanillas left. It's actually quite possible for blue to close that city. They, though, might opt to get the monk back first. And yeah, given the many Doritos still out there, the city actually isn't dead. The problem is there's no cap to go here. So if yellow wants to close the city, they'd have to get a road Dorito here. On the other hand, they are at +9, and getting a meeple back would significantly improve their situation. Getting this one back is rather unlikely, and so they try on this one on the left side. And now finally, after, I don't know, 5-6 moves, without a meeple in hand, yellow gets one back. +14. Doesn't look great for blue, but this here alone would be a huge swing. The remaining cow comes with a shield, so this city here would score 16 points to blue. Currently it's tied. +3 for the farmer, that's a 19-point swing. And that's definitely enough for blue to take this game home. Yeah. So do we try to find another option to win? Just in case yellow gets the remaining cow as well. If so, the city would be it. And blue thinks the same. So Yellow could at least restrict it to the one remaining dagger, killing their road in the progress, but well, that road is rather unlikely to be completed anyway. It could end here, but to me it looks like definitely the better move to restrict this, because a completion over here would be accompanied by a farmer attacking yellow's field. So in the end, it's just a matter of diligently counting all the caps still out there and finding the right orientation. With now more than 5 minutes on the clock, that should be rather easy for Chris, and he finds it. So this is at a 6, if closed 14, that's 8 points for blue, but 3 for yellow, so only a 5-point swing. That's not enough. This helps, but is also not enough. Blue could still go after the city if neither the cow or the dagger hits their hand. So it might be wise for yellow to drop the Dorito there just to protect against blue's attack, because then sure, blue could attack, but that definitely wouldn't be a wise move, as there's only one triple city left and they need it up top. Yeah, so blue takes away these options. Oh yeah, blue could also continue their city with Dorito, of course. Will they go for it? I don't think so, because all tiles in the deck would allow yellow to attack this city here. So blue has to find another move. They could kill at least yellow's monastery. On the other hand, that doesn't really matter, because everything that yellow would or could use over there, they dump here to get the monk back and maybe take the points. Is there anything else that would be productive for them? There's another reason why they could go for this one, and that's taking away possible field attacks, last minute field attacks by yellow, although doesn't matter, because stuff like this here would happen over here where it's protected. And yeah, I mean, it's a Ukrainian playing here, right? Of course we'd Ukraine the monastery. Now there are only gray tiles left for blue. Either he gets a vanilla over here, that's at least 1 point, threatening to close the city, although he'd go here, quite likely this way, or he gets to close this city or that one. Okay, now that yellow took away this option, blue, now they still have the monastery, right? Well, what's worth more? Does it matter? It doesn't. Either they get the cow or not. And it's not. down 11. I don't even get the dagger. Yeah, that is annoying. Having an early city like that, and your opponent gets all the cows, all 4 of them. 93% chance to at least get one, but 93% and 100. Everything else, well, seems okay. The problem was not getting a cow, but it just happens sometimes. Yeah, we thought about horse defense, but actually the horse defense would have been bad. Giving only 3, and you'd rather have the horse to use as road end as somewhere else. And of course, only 3 horses means your chances are roughly 87 and not 93% to get at least one. So another decider it is. In any case, having one game for adrear should seal all the questions about his playoff ticket. Yeah, looks like it. So at best, he could still move to 4th place currently, but with Waiguru and Sporter still having matches left, might not be enough to win here, to go straight to the round of 16. Nonetheless, we'll see him fighting for it, and of course we'll see Chris fighting to reduce adrear's chances, and even if it's only for honor, glory, I don't know, maybe fun, whatever. Yeah, yellow might just start a new city, restricting this, later going for the quad crossroad restriction here, winning a mini battle versus Blue's Road. Should be okay. Some would rather prefer this one, but that would be bad, allowing crossroad continuations for blue here like that. So that's, I think, the best move in that case. Blue opts to close the city. Sure, a road restriction from yellow would be annoying, but on the other hand, there are extenders and twin caps out there, and getting one would have been the perfect continuation over here. Especially in a case when there aren't other great options to drop sad tiles. So this one over here is not ideal with Blue's Road, and the only other option would have been right to Yellow's Monastery, and that's also not ideal. And of course, they could have dumped it on Yellow's city, but why would they? At least Blue built up a monastery square and was lucky enough to get the next monastery to use it. Yeah, meanwhile, the earlier mentioned restriction to the What crossroads happened? Hmm. Yeah, blue doesn't like to take this road because of two options to restrict it. And it would have been the same vice versa. So dumping the horse here wouldn't really improved this road's chances. That's why they just leave it there empty as is. This will have to wait. Damn it. For this square to be filled with quite likely a curve, as there's only one road monastery left. So again, not an ideal situation for blue. Having this city here, and it's the only open one of them. So continuations over here would immediately threaten the monastery. And with this field fight here happening, that could turn out devastating. So at least they get this monk's head out of the news here. And now it's their city being threatened. Threatened in both spaces. With the problem being that two of the right-handed daggers are gone. So stuff like that here would render this more or less useless. The best hope for blue in such a case quite likely be to force yellow's city into it as well, which yellow quite likely might prevent now, even though this would... Oh, it's blue. Sorry. Of course they do that. Yellow doesn't attack. They just threaten the kill here with basically any road piece, and just so happens they have a straight in hand to execute the kill. Good news for blue, though. This here might suffer as well. Yeah, and that's how you restrict cities that are adjacent to a nice field. Drop a farmer immediately, even if it's your penultimate meeple, even if your situation doesn't look great. It's playing on a razor's edge here from adrear. Tries to squeeze every point out this game he can get his hands on. Has to get a cap here. Limitations like this aren't really that threatening, as there are still 3 starting tiles out there. So none drawn so far. But I mean, 3 tiles are 3 tiles, and you might not get one of them. Which isn't the case this time. He even drops another cap into the lap of his field. Yeah, yellow obviously thinks it's high time to score some points of their own. Use this monastery. That's fine. They still have a meeple in hand. So they need to get their hands on a starting tile or rows ASAP to get the second one back. The remaining right-handed dagger is not really that critical. Sure, it would be nice for yellow to get it, but quite likely the city would be restricted afterwards anyway. Yeah, sad news though for yellow. This meeple here might die on their next turn, and that could be deciding the outcome of this game. But blue can't, of course, kill both at the same time. So good choice for yellow to go there. It's 50-50 anyway. And blue quite likely would kill this meeple. At least I think so, as it has way better chances to get the tile and would also grant yellow an immediate meeple back, whereas this here, even if the dagger were to hit, would still need another cap. Sad news. Yellow can't protect, and then they go the scoring route here, scoring 3 instead of 2 points at the cost of giving yellow the meeple back, with the upside of having another road here, which they surely would love to claim with this crossroads. Might also use the road monastery here, connecting their field on the right side with blue's field on the left. Of course, that field would be immediately under attack by blue's meeple up top, but you could restrict the square rather easily. And this here is already dead. So we'll see whether this here, this connection of the fields might happen or not. For now, yellow protected their city indirectly, and blue scored another small city for the fields. They don't care about this city. At plus 14, this seems to be okay. If the city gets closed, it would score 10 points, so that's plus 7 for the investment of 2 caps, minus 3 to blues, at least currently blues field. So getting this meeple back might be indeed more useful than killing the city. Yeah. Yellow takes the road as it's already at 6 points. I don't think that's a great idea. You'd need the road monastery and another road end to get the meeple back, and you already need those tiles here. And with a road end, blue might even connect the fields just for this road monastery case, maybe. Okay, this then is a curious decision by blue. So, okay, this was to take away the field attack. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. So that's why they added the first one there. On the other hand, they took away the field attack and created another platform, but at least this platform isn't a 6-point field. So yellow gets this meeple back, gets another straight. Yeah, not great for them. Road end would help way more. Yeah, and they don't even go for this connection, although that would connect a6 with the 9-point field, but there are options to attack a shared field here, and then there's still the road monastery out there. They might need it. Yep, that's totally fine. Actually, it gives you even a great chance to attack the field. But blue gets the perfect tile to defend there. The last remaining curve. And with all regular monasteries gone, this square now is dead. Yeah, blue has, yellow has basically two options. Restrict the monastery to exactly one tile, or add 2 points to your rune. And when you're in a field fight, I think this restriction here is worth more than the 2 points at the bottom, because quite likely your winning condition would be to tie the field. It's worth 15 points, might be 18, and just tying it would be enough. Yes, no, sure, 6 points, but it's also 1 meeple less. Yeah, then next restriction has to come here, reducing the chances to close this cap, reducing the chances to close this cap. Basically, this straight is more or less perfect there. The one thing better would have been the horse. This connection, I don't think it's better than restricting these two caps to one tile each. And it's so close that small decisions like that, going for 3 points here, allowing blue to score 7, could decide the game. Wow. Perfect draw for blue. Getting the road points, protecting the road here, still having 2 to close. Just so happens that yellow drew one of these 2 tiles. And now there's only the rows left for blue. And that's definitely a very critical tile, a tile yellow has to get. And what could they still do? Well, field attack would be nice on this here. And there is still the road monastery out there. So if need be, this here would work, for example. Might though be that this would be more precise, although no, it isn't. This here seems to be better, as that doesn't give options for blue to attack the connection from the top. Yeah, this could work as well, especially because they already need to get the rows. This here could work. And if blue then gets one of the cows, the dagger here would let yellow connect into the field. Yeah, that's why this could turn out badly for blue. On the other hand, it's a 5-point feature, and going here doesn't work, because then yellow would have this easy and only blockable with Road Monastery option. But it doesn't matter. Yellow just scores to 1 point. Blue gets the dagger. And then what is there? Well, there's the Road Monastery, and at -4 could even be enough to get the Road Monastery and the rows to score points here for yellow. Oh, there's a 6-point spot there. But that, as first player, isn't enough. Then they need to find a Road Monastery attack on the field. Luckily for them, there's at least one still available. This here would work the same without giving a point to blue. And I don't think there's an option for blue to take away stuff like that. The only question for blue here should be whether they can do something with this and a cow. And in the end, we'll see. They really can't do this one here. That would grant this attack, and especially the same attack with the cow. Also, just adding the 1 point to your road, leaving this cap empty, is a recipe for failure. And what else is there? Yep, that's nice. That's nice. Because that exactly sets up a great chance for something to do with the cow. They have a great option to use the rows up top. Getting the Road Monastery would take away yellow's chances to still attack a field or to score 7 points over here. So the only tile they needed to find something good to happen with was the cow, and they did find the best option, attacking a yellow's 11-point ruin. Yeah, and now that I see this, of course, this was a mistake. Was it, though? Nah, it wasn't. It was more likely. Actually, it wasn't. It doesn't matter. So yellow played here to take away this attack. At least I think so. But as the rose would be used up top, quite likely, for 9 points. Didn't matter. Yellow found their road monastery move, took over the 12-point field, and was able to eke out a 1-point win. And sorry for not mentioning this one. They could have done the same over here. This, though, is flashier. So congratulations to Chris. Well done in the end. Found the connection. Hey, Kyrillo. For those who don't know, Kyrillo is our protagonist, Adrear. What do you think could have been a mistake? This dagger over there? Your last move? Your last move was this one. Why should that be a mistake? If you mean the penultimate one, the dagger, I don't think so. I mean, you have the setup to use the cow profitably there. This one would be great. Basically, and this is this yellow's only chance? Let's check. So let's check. Because there were other options for yellow to attack the field. So the thing Adrear's talking about quite likely is this road. Oops. So let's check. So if he had gone for the road here, would have been at +8, but with let's check. So need to concentrate. I need to focus. Taking over the field on the right side would be still a 12-point swing. And again, there's this option available for yellow. So that's 12 points to yellow, 4 to blue over here. And we have 6 to blue there, right? That would be a blue win. The next one would be a yellow loss. So that's basically the same as a blue win, right? This would be a yellow win because they claim some points with the rose. And then later on 7 points with the monastery over here, while blue wouldn't score anything with the cow. This here would be a blue win, right? They could just add 1 point to the road. So that would be +9. Yellow scores, I don't know, some points somewhere. There's no field attack, or rather no connection with the triple city available. So they'd score anything out there, quick points wise. 2 points +3, not enough. This one here would result in 8 points for yellow, 7 over here, and another to either city or road. So that would be a tie, which goes to blue. And this is blue as well. So you followed all my explanations. Is this correct? Or have I missed something? Okay, thanks, Kirillo. Then let's take a look at what happened in the game with this city attack here. Let's see. Yeah, should reset. So that, of course, points-wise, is nowhere near enough for blue, because yellow could easily outscore them unless blue connects here. Let's see. So if blue connects, they'd gain 10 points, right? Yeah, that's 11 points worth versus the one from blue. So connection over there would be 10 points, permutations 3 and 5. The problem being, though, that in permutation 3, yellow could attack the field. The question is, would they? Let's think about it. What exactly should be a tie? Which permutation? This does not work. I should take them. 15 and why 15 though? You are up by 4 points, so the 10 would be only 14. I mean, there are 4 shielded tiles and 3 unshielded tiles in this ruin. That's 11. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's late. There's 1 point which isn't reflected on the scoreboard here. Yeah, sorry, Kurlo. You're right. So even if yellow were able to successfully attack this field, which in this permutation would be an option. They'd score 15 points plus, no, it's not 15, it's 18. There are 6 cities, adrear. Therefore, this field attack by yellow and the connection with the monastery would win them the game. It happens, Kirillo. Don't worry. Even Otto miscounted yesterday. And frankly, it was easy to count. He missed a dagger and all 6 were already on the board. Yeah, and should yellow go for this one? That is a good question. And the answer is yes, because if they don't, but just score 2 points, they would not be able to score more than 3 points with a simple cow. So not going for the field isn't an option for yellow. And therefore, this here would be a blue win. This would be a blue win as well, because yellow doesn't connect, blue doesn't connect as well, it doesn't matter. Why what? Sorry. Again, it's late. Doesn't bode well for the next match. Yes, 3 is yellow win. I said as much, and if I said it's blue win, I don't know. So the first one, yellow adds 1 point to their city here, or does go for the attack over there. Adding 1 point, does that make sense for them? No, it doesn't. It does not. They need to go for this attack. So this attack works in that case. It scores them 12 points. Minus these 5 for blue, minus 6, that is +1 for yellow, right? 1 blue, 1 yellow. I think 1 is yellow. The next one then goes to blue, as yellow's attack here does not work. And 5, well, this goes to blue. And the last one scores 7 plus another one for 8. But blue scores 6, so that's the blue win as well. Unless there's an option to attack any field with the road monastery. It would need a straight-ish connection, and I don't see one. Yeah. So, anyone disagreeing? Okay. Yeah, if you've calculated a 50-50 for this connection, well, then you were for one a bit off, one permutation, but off. But if this here is a 5 and 6, well, then the answer was easy. Wait a second. I wish I could rewind. Which case would you lose over here? This one, this attack. No. Could someone please rewind and tell me which permutation of this road by blue did blue or should blue lose to yellow? Connection to main field with yeah, this one over here. Thank you. Yeah, then it's okay. Yeah, thank you. I just mixed up some stuff here. Yep. So looks like this would have been the move for Carrillo to win the game, and in this case he would have, as he would have not taken away yellow's attack, because yellow would have attacked here, but scored these precious 6 points plus 4 over here. That's 10 plus 4, that's 14. That's 2 more than yellow's connection would yield. Right, with the rows which Carrillo mentions, yellow doesn't even need to attack the field, as there's this threat not available to blue. They only have the road here. So yellow could also just score 2 points with the crossroads somewhere and then take the 7 points for the monastery in the end. Okay, so on to the standings. By now, the results should be already updated, and they are updated. So Adria now resides in 9th place, ahead of Nalaheim, and even if the opponent tiebreakers get fixed, he should stay ahead of Otto. Let's see, is there anyone who could still change a lot about that outcome? Maybe if both Tompa and Asx3t0s were to win, and again, I've mentioned these opponent tiebreakers here. For some folks, opponent match wins could in theory be 25, although that would mean you'd lose all 5 matches. For others, it is less. It depends whether your 5 opponents have any match between them. For example, if Asx3t0s were to play versus Gladki Alex and Tompa were to play versus Lazybor, then Nalaheim's opponent match wins would at most be 23. So there might still be the necessity to adjust these. So take it with a grain of salt, but in all likelihood, Adria will stay ahead of Nalaheim. He won't catch any of these two, even, well, I'm wrong. There's a 7-3 there, not a 7, not 2 7-2s, so he could still catch Sporter, but if he catches Sporter, then Texay moves up there, because these two meet each other. And basically, there's only with who could still catch Adria, so he might drop to 10th place. In the end, it's a playoff ticket. Of course, he'll play the round of 24 as he wasn't able to secure one of the first 4 spots. According to me, I think you are safe and sound in the playoffs. It's only a question whether you might drop a place or, depending on these tiebreakers, even 2. But the worst that could happen might even be 12th place. Let's see if Sporter winning would change something. Doesn't. No, actually, at worst 11th. So if this tiebreaker might switch the order of Adrian Nallerheim, and if Viv were to win 2-0, Adria might drop to 11th, but definitely a playoff ticket here. And then let's check out Asx3t0s situation, because by now it's only 2 minutes until these two will start their match. So why not cover this as well? The Greek has one great chance, and that is winning 2-0 today. With a 2-0, he would leapfrog not one, but at least 2 other players. Let's just illustrate that one. So then he'd have a games difference of +3. Leapfrogging. Oh, I totally missed Wahe, Glovia, and Alexi for sure. Opponents' match wins we've talked about, so this order of these 3 might still change. And Hotly still has a match to play versus Pakshi, and Pakshi has no loss so far. Therefore, Pakshi won't drop below Asx3t0s in any case, but Hotly might be able to overtake Asx3t0s. So the gist is 2-0 for the Greek, and he secures a playoff ticket. There aren't enough folks left here who could still get to +3. The only one would be MTU. A 2-1 though, it's the wrong one. This one we need. Could be problematic, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, MTU with any win would overtake Asx3t0s. And then there are Basiliuk and Fox, who with the 2-0 could gain the same games won and games lost tiebreakers, and then it would come down to the opponent match wins again. Basiliuk might have a chance, Fox quite likely won't. So that are the stakes here. Asx3t0s will definitely go for a 2-0 win. It's 31. Are they going for a tournament? Yes, they are. So that explains the slight delay. Have they changed the starting time? No, they haven't. Then I'm not sure why this doesn't take place. It looks like Borberichi isn't online. Tournament results doesn't look great. Well, at least then I could cut this, but they are online. Maybe there was a problem with the tournament setup. Let's see. This looks fine. Well, then let's just ask Thanks, smaller Grant. I basically just mentioned that I should add the stream to Carcassonne.gg and voiced a bit of frustration about BGA's tournament system here. Just forgot to unmute. Yeah, there is an LED here on my mic, but on the wrong side. So I have to peek down and tap over the mic. Then I see the green or red LED there. Doesn't matter for you though, as long as there is one of you in the chat who lets me know that my lips move, but there's no sound. It's usually not a huge deal here, because every time one of you writes a message, there's a ping in the background that's pretty noticeable. So I shouldn't miss chat messages unless my streaming tool here, for those who care, check out Social Stream Ninja. Doesn't pick up on a message. That could be a problem. But let's focus on the game here. A pretty iffy situation for blue, forced by this wise investment of yellow's dagger there. And as there are already 2 daggers gone, any tile with a field side to the right would restrict these 2 meeples quite severely and might swing the game to a huge, what am I talking, into yellow's favor or whatever. It definitely would be great for them to restrict these 2, and not just that, they'd also pressure this one. Yes and no. Sure, you force a concession by blue, they'd have to restrict this one. And yes, in this case, there's only one tile left to close the city and continue the road. That's the starting tile. The remaining 3 are gone. But I'm not sure it's better than waiting a tad. On the other hand, considering this city on the left side, which could also be restricted like this, or in this case, when starting tile is needed in the middle, a curve here might even be better. That would only leave the 2 roses to close that city, albeit that would supply the road end. But we'll see. So these 2 are gunning out their moves here, which I don't mind at this time. Yeah. Okay. Blue doesn't have a meeple in hand. Now I have 3 iffy squares. And need the right-handed daggers for 2 cities already. Also, given the only other caps that are out there are the roses and left-handed daggers, these are also critical for blue. They need to get meeples back. Yeah, that's a shame here. Blue completed their monastery, can't fault them for that, didn't go for a further restriction up top. And yellow liberated their road meeple here while continuing blue city. Blue tried to close it. It does not work. Yellow even gets the remaining right-handed dagger, so these squares are dead now. There's no road monastery left. Basically, yellow will run away with this game. The only hope for blue is to get the splitter and the starting tile, a road end, and then somehow take over a field here maybe. City looks nice as well, but they are 15 points behind. Yeah, 15 points. 19 now. Doesn't look great for Borberichi. Yeah, I mean, yellow gets what they need. '24, so I mean, basically there's nothing working for blue. It's already dead. Not sure. Go for it. Blue has meeples in hand. So closing the city would be accompanied by a 9-point field. And yellow should take care of that field somewhere up top. They go for quick points though. And now... what? Oh, come on. This is dead. I mean, it's the crucial tile out there for blue, so you have to keep track of that. And after yellow closed the city, all daggers were gone. Yeah, let's hope for a bit more luck for blue in the next game and a bit more focus as well. I mean, yeah, why not? If blue doesn't kill the city, this farmer could still score 3 points, and it's your penultimate move anyway, but this here would have been meepling the road ever so slightly more precise. Either this one or this one here would kill the city. In the end, come on. You're down by 30. Does it matter? I mean, playing bullet speed for basically the whole game, but then taking, I don't know, 2 minutes for the remaining 2 moves, which don't matter at all. I don't like it at all. That's just annoying. Yeah, so if I need to take a look at anything again, it would be the early game. And because I've talked so much in the early going, let's actually take a quick look, but only a quick one. Because they quite likely will start the next game and then push out move like there's no tomorrow again. Looks like they haven't started yet, at least. Yeah. I mean, I get it. You'd rather not see yellow score these points and restrict your city. On the other hand, at least that would endanger yellow's road as well. So basically, yellow is unlikely to do something here except for attacking the city. With road pieces, they quite likely would rather try to restrict this city from the right side and having an options to restrict the left one on the next turn. So I don't think you need to meeple that road, and that was the reason why blue got in hot water that early on. Let's hope they can avoid stuff like that this time. So first points on the board for Borberichi. Yellow with the road. Blue takes an early field. Why? Oh, why? It's not 2005. But Asx3t0s goes for a Dorito, which at most scores you 8 points instead of immediately claiming one of those caps. And especially the right one would have been quite useful with this dagger to restrict monastery options here and restrict field expansion ideas on the right. Yeah, and no! Come on, man! There's an easy 50-50 restriction available. You even have the tile in hand that yellow needs afterwards. And you go for stuff like that. Why? Oh, man. He's pulling a dude here. Those who don't get that, just check El Duderino versus Blueste from yesterday. Yeah, well, why this one and not this one that has the upside of giving you great curve moves? I don't understand this. It's a point to yellow either way. And if yellow gets a horse, then the horse would be more annoying for this city than for the bottom one. So I don't see the reason to close this one over the top. Still 2 daggers left for blue to unify, equalize rather, this road here and take 4 points on top of that. But yeah, with all these lacks of precision doesn't look great for them. I mean, they already have a 9-point field, but are still down by 7. Yeah, splitters. Why not? And if blue connects with the Dorito, well, you could re-attack. Oh, for once, blue doesn't do wonky stuff. Instead, they did. Sure, still splitters out there, but in some cases, yellow might kill their monastery just to have this chance of killing one of blue's meeples. Nice field restriction on the right side here by yellow. Yeah, blue should connect, bringing this monk closer to home. Yellow restricts, as of now, only slightly this blue monastery, but there are still both road monasteries and curves left to liberate that monk here. And now blue just equalized on the scoreboard. No, they even took the lead. Yeah. Get another perfect tile to expand. Plus 16. And they still have the threat of these 2 daggers left. So it all turned out great for blue here. Even this city worked wonders for their score. Yeah, there's still a starting tile left. So if yellow wants to defend, why not drop a farmer as well? On the other hand, this monastery is threatened. There could be the same restriction by blue that already applies here. With all the killing tiles out there, going for 3 points when you're down 16, I don't know whether this really changes the needle in your favor. So I actually would have liked this one here quite a lot. Even if the starting tile doesn't hit, there's still a curve left to connect here, which would also set up a 6-point road. And yellow needs stuff like that. Again, there are still 2 daggers out there, which would see blue gaining the tie on this road, and it's a, what is it, 10 points? 11 points, so tied road means 10 points for blue plus 4 over here. That's a 14-point swing. Wow. At least this one will be restricted either to a cow or road Dorito, whatever yellow chooses. And I think the cow is more precise, as then you could still attack this here and connect with the cow even. Yeah, this orientation, well, works for the splitters. But why not set this up in a way to use the daggers, which you need anyway? But so it goes. One dagger hits for yellow on a secondary field here. Blue creates another field on the right side. Curve for yellow would be lovely. Here we go. There is the curve. As if I had called it. So they need the rotary toe and the dagger. The dagger hits. So this square is dead. The rotary toe hits as well, but it is too little and definitely too late. Blue claimed the 6-point field on the right side. And with this one, was able to win this game. Force the decider here. Which doesn't bode well for Asx3t0s playoff chances. To 0 definitely would have been great. 2-1, as we've seen earlier, might just not be enough. Yeah, it just slipped away from them. Maybe they will take 2 minutes again. So let's take a quick look at this situation with Blue's city on the left side. They even have started already. So then let's go to the game. Blue annoying yellow's road, forcing it even more into this battle. Why not keep it that way? Yeah, again, the problematic road plus city combo, and this time with yellow at the receiving end and also getting a nice piece to solve this rather amicably. They even thought about dropping a farmer there, but that would be too early. That field might end up with 6 points. So you'd rather wait. If you manage to drop crossroads here, you could consider then a farmer. But yellow even gets another nice tile here. So that's already the second left-handed dagger. Keep note of it. They attack Blue's most promising feature. Also restrict monastery and a city to the right-handed daggers. There are still 3 out there. Yeah, that is annoying. 3 cows are gone. Whoa. Either you need to get a triple city and a quad city to get both into the field there, or you need to get both horses because all extenders are gone. So connecting over here and there only works with these 2 permutations. That actually isn't a great situation for yellow. And now the question to blue is, do you restrict this one here basically to the quad city and a horse, or do you rather wait to connect there yourself? And they opt to not wait. What? Okay. I mean, what's the deal with this one? Just not creating a huge feature, right? But if you don't want to create a huge feature, why not just connect here? Sure, it kills your meeple, but at least this feature would be done. There's no attack possible, or would be no attack possible anymore. This here, because of the road end? Maybe. I mean, there are still crossroads out there, and even if a restriction happens, there are still 2 starting tiles out there. Interesting choice. In the end, yellow still has the now 25% chance to draw the remaining horse and the quad city. For now, it doesn't look like they'll be able to force a quad city here because there are too many open city parts. But we'll see. For now, they got restricted over here to the dagger. And it's now critical in 2 spaces even, although doesn't really matter for blue. This monastery here is a mini battle versus yellow's city, and that quite likely will stay this way. There's no connection option available over there, and therefore yellow should just kill this square. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, there's still a way for blue to close their side. Instead, they opt to try and pressure blue's city, but threaten their own monastery in the process. I don't get it. Yeah. Blue needs to draw, well, the horse and a quad city. Prevent this connection. And there's no other way than to outdraw yellow. Yeah. Nice. That's a chance for blue. They still have the chance to close this city if they notice it and get the right tiles to do so. There's still the curve. Get this monastery back, and the curve is gone. And there is the vanilla, which would have been lovely to go over here. I don't think this moves wins you the game. Damn it. I think going for this one would have been better. And now they even kill their city. I mean, it was still alive. And this could have been used to attack the field. Oh man, this is so sad. This is so sad. Nothing's critical anymore. Blue just wasted their game. And if I sound a bit annoyed, well, it's because I am. I mean, it's late over here. Usually I'd be sleeping at this time. So I had hopes for, well, better play and not stuff like that. That's just so annoying. Sure, in the end, it would have been hard for Blue to win this one. But if they waste all options, well then, it's totally fine with me that Yellow wins this game. So this will be, barring any power outages or network failures, a 2-1 win for Asx3t0s. And the implications, we'll take a look after Borberichi's move here. So Asx3t0s wins 2-1. And for now resides in 10th place. For now relegates Asx3t0s to 13th place. So Asx3t0s still has a sliver of hope, I guess, for that to manifest. Hotly would need to lose preferably 2-0, which isn't unlikely given their opponent is Pakshi. Just so Asx3t0s doesn't have to care about opponent match wins, again, at least in the comparison against Hotly. But then there are MTU, Basiliuk, Fox, and Horse who could all get into the playoff ticket ranges and surpass the Latvian. And the implications for Asx3t0s are as follows. Let's add 2 zeros to all these aforementioned players, because then they'd all be at least +2 tiebreaker. MTU with a 2-0 at 8-5. Let's drop this to 8-6 just for kicks. And he, of course, would be still ahead because he has more games won than these 4 here. The Horse would need to hope for Basiliuk and Fox to not win with 2-0, or MTU as well losing. But any of them could still reach the playoffs depending on other results. Basiliuk looks like is the only one except for MTU still be able to catch Asx3t0s. Doesn't look like Fox has enough opponents, match wins, and yeah, MTU is already factored in. So looks like Asx3t0s has good chances here. Needs to root for Pakshi, because if Hotly wins versus Pakshi, he soars to 5th place. Yeah, even with 2-1, no, with 2-1 he would stay behind Pakshi. And then Asx3t0s and Basiliuk would become close, although unlikely due to the opponent match wins. So to me, this looks like the Greek might have secured a playoff ticket now. So let's figure this out. If MTU wins, that's good for Basiliuk. Beluste already has played his 5th one. Then there's Angustur and Helge left. Angustur is already at 5 and Helge as well. So Basiliuk's tiebreaker won't improve anymore. And then looks to me like Asx3t0s has successfully secured a playoff ticket here. Unless something were to change about this one, which could still be the case, as I've mentioned earlier. But for now, I'd say 90% chance for him to have secured the playoff ticket here, unless I've missed something. And there's even one thing I didn't notice. They might lose 2-0 versus Lapatori and could still drop out of the playoff ticket range. And definitely could drop below Asx3t0s. So yeah, looks like the Greek should reach the playoffs. Long story short, that is. Yeah, not my time. Texas Border, though, should work. And as Weave and Phosphate have rescheduled their game, more or less overlapping with Pakshi versus Hotly, I quite likely will cover this one as well. And then maybe even Helge. Pose Lapatori, I think, doesn't work for Alexei, so I might have my hands full tomorrow. And for this to work out, I have to get up early to get stuff rolling before going for the stream here. And therefore, I will sign out now. Bye.